Right. But you did run into a sort of cricket legend while you were there, and it's a reminder of how strong the cricket scene is in America, and how many people sort of come into it, come and go out of it. Who was that?
It was Steve Bucknor. So it was very strange. So I went to the whole reason for me to go there was just to speak to club cricketers about the World Cup and the plans to play in the Bronx and it being moved and whether they're going to go and so on. And while I was kind of stood on the boundary rope talking to one of the teams, they went, "That's Steve Bucknor." I went, "No, it's not." And I said several times, "It's not Steve Bucknor." And then he comes off the pitch in full ICC gear, which is probably one of the best things about
Fantastic.
it. Um, and he wasn't willing to speak on camera, but he was happy to speak for a couple of minutes just about on the recorder, just to chat about why he's there and what's happening and how he sees the cricket scene in New York. And he's moved here for family reasons. His family have moved out here, and he actually stopped umpiring altogether after retiring from being a professional umpire. And he was asked to get involved in the kind of New York scene to kind of oversee games and so on and help out. And he said how he sounds like he really enjoys it. He called it his therapy. It was an opportunity for him to kind of keep, exercise and get involved in the cricket scene here. And he believes the cricket is growing in the city, and he thinks there's a real kind of there's a real kind of hunger for it. So it was very surreal seeing him there. It did kind of like feel very club cricket because you hear these legends always playing, getting involved in the club scene in England, but you kind of don't really expect to see it in New York. And it was very strange to be sat there in the Bronx watching this kind of legendary umpire kind of oversee this game between a group of expats. So, one of the kind of funny things about it is every time a decision came his way, whether it's like an LBW decision or whatever, if he was giving someone out, everyone on the sideline was like, "Oh, Steve," these Australians just going, "Oh, Steve, and it was kind of very, it was kind of very surreal. And one time, one of the LBW appeals he turned down, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Steve, come on, Steve." So it was just, it was very strange. And at one point, there was this Aussie, and he was he was the number 11, and he came charging down the wicket, charging down the pitch, should I say, and he slipped halfway down, turned back and ran back, but he didn't get run out because the game standard wasn't too great. The fielding wasn't very quick, and he's also wearing aviators. So it's just this like Australian bloke with aviators and a mullet running halfway down the track, slipping, and Steve Bucknor just at the other end, just watching him. I just think it was just a kind of ridiculous story, but it did feel very cricket and kind of thing you would see in cricket.
Certainly a far cry from Alan Donald steaming into to Alex
Yeah,
Stewart or something. But I mean, I wonder, was it the famous Buckner wait? He took so long to give his LBs. I remember,
yeah, he did.
the camera would pan back on Steve Buckner for ages, and then suddenly he'd just go, yeah, okay, that's out.
Yeah, it was. It did take a few seconds to give it. Yeah, he actually did. So that was quite interesting to see. But yeah, he did. He was actually quite slow with it. But yeah, he was very relaxed on the place, and he seemed like he really enjoyed it. So it's just kind of great to see. And I think it's one of those great cricket stories that you get. It's just one of those weird kind of things, but brilliant.
But I mean, again, it's a reminder of especially the West Indians. Chanderpaul's played a lot in America. I think loads of West Indians go to America. Understandably, being an economic powerhouse, people go there and play cricket there. So it's just they've had so much governance issues over the years and problems with pay and getting the cricket board in order. If they can just get that together and get a youth program, a bit better organised. They really could become, USA could become a massive power in cricket, and that's really why they're, aside from the TV thing, that's why the ICC are doing this tournament in America, I suppose.